On the count of 3, what was your favorite part of Captain Marvel? 1, 2, 3. Goose.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Justin Watches Movies, and I'm joined by my beautiful wife, and your name is?
Tara watches movies.
Occasionally. Also with our daughter.
Tara watches Disney movies.
Yes, mostly Disney and cooking channel shows and all that stuff. But we snuck out tonight and we went and saw Captain Marvel. Daisy had a sitter, and this is the second time that I've seen it, the first time that you saw it, and we wanted to have a spoiler discussion about Captain Marvel. So, do you want to give the warning?
Spoiler warning. We're going to talk about stuff that happens in the movie.
Especially the end credits.
Yeah.
And everything in between. So, we have a script of all the things that we're going to talk about. So, if you go off script, you will never be on this channel again. It's
a risk I'm willing to take.
One warning.
Okay.
So if you have not seen Captain Marvel, come back after you've seen the movie and check out this video. So let's start talking about Captain Marvel. Before we start spoilers, what were your hopes going into this movie with Captain Marvel? Keep in mind that, you know, we had that little teaser at the end of Infinity War with this little beeper pager or whatever it is. What were your hopes?
That she was gonna be a better female superhero than Black Widow. That's for sure.
Shots fired.
I mean, like, talk about useless characters, but whatever. I don't know. I just hope that she had more of an impact on the franchise than just being a side character. And this is the first female superhero that got their own movie.
Yeah.
And so she had a lot to prove.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of Infinity War, with Thanos' snap, you would hope that someone's gonna come along and just kind of end it all.
Spice things up.
And, you know, we'll talk a little bit more at the end, but they had that pager for only emergency only. So he paged her and she's going to come and save the day. So my hopes also was that we would really feel that, you know, she had this power that she could come in and stop Thanos. I wanted to see her full power, and we might not even have seen her full power in this movie. She might have been hiding something in the movie.
I mean, we've only seen her in this one situation. There's lots of different things that she could surprise us with in Endgame.
So, Brie Larson stars as Carol Danvers, or Veers was her Cree name. What do you think about Brie Larson as the title character?
I mean, she's okay. We saw her in Room. Didn't she win?
She was good in there.
Didn't she win an Academy Award for that? I mean, she's a good actress. We knew she was a good actress, but we didn't know if she was going to be a good superhero actress. And I think she was good.
I remember her, and I didn't even know it was her for the longest time, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. She was in
He
that
just
movie.
made me watch that movie, by the way, and it was a treat.
It was a good movie. But I saw the movie in theaters, and I didn't even know who that was when I saw it, and then I watched it. I was like, oh, yeah.
She was in 21 Jump Street, too.
Yeah, like
she was
briefly.
the one that tried to hook up with Jonah Hill.
I also think she's in Don John with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Isn't that Scarlett Johansson?
I think she plays...
I've never seen that movie.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's sister. But anyways, I thought she was good, too. I thought she was very confident in her role. You see, like, all those little Facebook videos of her working out. You know, that early scene where she's fighting Jude Law. Those are all things that, you know, she's been working on. I think they were all pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, she
didn't really seem very athletic in any of her roles before this.
She's flying around. But
she's flying what?
She's flying around in this movie, so she doesn't have to be that athletic.
Well, okay.
But you know, she's fit for the role. She's a good actress. She's funny at times, and I think the best thing about this movie is that she was very confident. I said on the way home that one of my favorite scenes is when she's fighting the Skrull and he's screaming at her and she screams right back at him. Just, you know, whatever she's doing, she's confident, and
she worked really well with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
I could see them being friends in real life.
Yeah, and actually have a Netflix movie coming out next month where they're in that movie together.
It's hard to find characters that have such great chemistry.
Yeah. But even when she didn't know who she was, she still felt confident. She reminded me a lot of Captain America, and I know this house is divided. This house is divided.
Iron Man.
She reminds me a lot of Captain America. She's, will face the enemy head on, and she stands for something. And she's much better than Iron Man, and Captain America's much better than Iron Man. If this is the time that you would like to leave, the doors right there.
This is an attack right now. This was a trap.
This was not a Captain Marvel spoiler talk. It was me telling you.
I got a lot of stuff I could tell people about you.
I know.
You better catch yourself.
But Brie Larson, pretty good. Moving on. So I would also like to talk about the Skrull. The Skrull was next up on the list. I did not expect the storyline to go that route. From the trailers, it seemed like the Skrull were the main bad guys, and I wasn't expecting them to have such a deeper backstory where they were just trying to find a home because the Kree had wanted them to, submit to their rules, and they didn't want to. So they were trying to find a home. So I kind of like that it switched things up a little.
It was an interesting twist. And, they did it early enough in the movie that you kind of got to relate to the Skrull a little bit more. Skrulls a little bit more. They didn't wait until the very end of the movie to introduce them as kind of like the good side. So you had enough time to feel for their story.
Yeah.
Also, they look so much like the Krill from the Orville without the weird pincer chin.
Yes. But I like the actor playing Talos is the main guy. Ben Middleton, he was the bad guy in Rogue One. And he's in a few other movies. You probably don't know who he is. But I thought they had added enough backstory, like you said, to make you feel connected. You
had enough time to feel connected to them. Usually with spoilers, or not spoilers, but reveals like that, they wait until too far in the movie to really relate to them.
Yeah.
And this was like halfway through.
And I think that it was impactful, and I would like to see something a little more from them. Since this was set in the 90s, we had 20 years after Captain Marvel. We're now in the timeline with Infinity War. Maybe something in between had happened with them, but I would like to see a little more of them. I thought they were pretty interesting.
They were an interesting character, and the shape-shifting power is like, it opens up so many possibilities for future movies with them.
And I read like several spoilers or rumors that Nick Fury this whole time was a Skrull, that someone had shapeshifted into Nick Fury, but it wouldn't really even matter now, since I thought they would be bad the whole time, but if they're good, it doesn't really matter.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of I don't know where that would have come from.
Well, with Agent Coulson.
Yeah.
Kind of something like that. But anyways, I thought the Skrulls were a pretty interesting
They were
story.
an interesting.
Yeah.
They were an interesting group.
And then that brings us to Jude Law. I like Jude Law. He's a good actor.
I like Jude Law too, for other reasons.
He's not dating Katy Perry.
No.
It's Orlando Bloom.
Orlando Bloom is dating.
I get them mixed up for some reason.
I don't know why they look nothing like each other.
I didn't think that he was going to be the villain, because they showed.
I feel like I could tell he was the villain just because when Ronan popped up, and I turned to you and I was like, "What is going on?" I figured that must have been introducing him as the villain. I didn't realize that the whole Kree group was the villain, but I thought he specifically was going to be the villain.
Well, it's a good twist, because in the trailer they show that same exact scene where she's laying down, and it's a Skrull walking towards her. But in the movie, it's Jude Law walking towards her.
Yeah, they just swapped it.
Yeah, and kind of towards the middle, I saw it coming, but going into the movie, I didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah.
And so that, they were searching for the Tesseract, the energy, and she had it, and she had all that powers within her. So I think it's interesting.
Well, she didn't have it.
She had
Marvel had it.
Yeah, the Tesseract, but Captain
She had
Marvel
the power. She had the core.
Yeah, and
power
so
inside her.
It's interesting. It just also shows how important the Tesseract is, and I like seeing these early days of certain things, because you have all those Infinity Stones and
the introductions to all
something
of
that we've seen before.
Yeah.
And you brought up some good point too about, and I think they've dealt with this problem many times, is the shield. in Iron Man, they were trying to come up with a name for it.
Yeah, and what was that, Iron Man 1, 2, or 3?
Yeah, I think it was
2?
Might have been 1.
2?
But also, like in Captain America and in Ant-Man.
Yeah, so
they talk about S.H.I.E.L.D.
Either Scarlett Johansson or Samuel Jackson came in one of the Iron Man movies and said some weird long, or maybe it was Coulson, some weird long name, and they said, oh, we're still trying to come up with the acronym. And then at the end of another movie, they said, oh, it's S.H.I.E.L.D. So you'd think that they came up with S.H.I.E.L.D. at that time, but then they were referring to it as S.H.I.E.L.D. in this movie, which is very confusing, because obviously it had been S.H.I.E.L.D. for a while, but for some reason it wasn't S.H.I.E.L.D. in that movie. I don't know. It bugged me.
I'm not a reporter. I'm Agent Phil Coulson with the Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division.
That's quite a mouthful.
I know. We're working on it.
And there's also another thing that I saw floating around the web is Nick Fury talks to Captain America, and he goes, the last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye. Mm-hmm. He lost his eye.
He lost an eye to a cat, so...
So, yeah, and someone said they're replacing dramatic scenes with comedy now.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, comedy draws to a wider audience than dramatic scenes. A lot of people aren't into drama. They're into comedy.
And, Nick Fury just has a history of lying to people. And
that's true.
In Avengers, he lied to a few people, too, with those trading cards. I think there's a certain scene with trading cards. And
yeah, he said it was like... Yeah, to, like, pump up the Avengers.
Yeah. But I think Jude Law was a good villain.
He was.
It's, like I said, it brought an importance to the Tesseract, which I like seeing set in the 90s and how it kind of got. Now, in the beginning of this video, we said our favorite thing about this movie was Goose. And it's sweet because I call you Goose and you call me
Moose.
If you guys didn't know, we have nicknames for each other.
Isn't it obnoxious?
That's my Pokemon Go.
Yeah. You're Moose. No.
I'm Moose McGoose.
And I'm Goose McMoose.
Yeah, so if you ever want to find us on Pokemon Go, that's where you can find
don't play very much.
But I saw posters and Funko Pops and everything. I'm like, oh my god, there's a cat named Goose. And we have cats of our own. We love cats and everything, but I wasn't expecting so much of Goose. Like, he went on the ships with them, and he actually he wasn't a cat. He was
like some type of alien.
What was it called?
Like a
Florgan?
Flork?
Comment down below and tell me what it was.
Fulgur?
But kind of reminded me of the Force Awakens Star Wars movie, like when we first meet Han Solo and he's on the ship and Rey releases the things, they're going throughout the ship and it captures Finn. That's what it reminded me of when Goose opened up his mouth and took the Tesseract and the people. It
reminded me of throwback. If anyone has seen the movie I Am Number 4, that dog that ended up being that massive alien, and I had such a love affair with that dog. I was obsessed with him. And then now it's the cat. Yeah. Same storyline, basically.
But that also the end credit when he puked up the Tesseract. That's when people think it's kind of like Voldemort with the Horcruxes. Like he's trying to hide something.
The cat?
No, like Voldemort is trying to hide his Horcruxes somewhere, and they're trying to hide the Tesseract from the bad people. Like, you won't even think to hide it inside a cat.
Well, but maybe they would have, because they knew it wasn't a cat.
Well, not many people did.
I guess people on Earth probably didn't know it was a cat.
I'm sure Thanos wouldn't be looking for a cat. If they could keep that Tesseract inside the cat for years, we wouldn't even had Infinity War.
That's true. If that cat had just not puked up that furball, everything would have been different. He's not going to be like... There wouldn't have been any Loki either in the first Avengers, because he was after the Tesseract too.
So I wonder what had happened after Goose puked up the Tesseract. I wonder who took it.
Where is Goose in the current storyline? # find me Goose, because that was very unfortunate. Do you know something?
No, I'm sure that something has happened.
Okay, well, don't assume.
But
it's an alien cat.
I mean, I was saying with like Voldemort, he hides these things, his Horcruxes, in places that mean something to him. I mean...
Well, he just ate it. I mean, Fury didn't tell him to eat it. He just did it on his own.
Yeah, and keep the Tesseract in there for years, and problem when it solves, will take all the other Infinity Stones and throw them in that cat.
And it didn't tell you when specifically the cat barfed up the
Yeah.
Tesseract. It didn't give you like a timeline, so it could have
Look
been
at the
years
computer.
later.
The computer was a little updated.
So it must have been years later. It
Yeah.
couldn't have been like the next day.
I think it was updated. I don't know computers from the 90s very well.
Was it a Mac?
But Goose easily was the cutest thing of this movie, and I thought that he brought out a sweeter side to Nick Fury, because Nick Fury is always like tough.
Very
and,
gruff and, you know, in charge. And then there's this little cat that he's like in love with. It's the best.
and the de-aging. Oh my god. That was crazy. Looking at Nick Fury and him with hair and being all young looking.
Did he have hair?
Yeah, he had hair.
I didn't
I don't know,
notice
it's like you imagine him without hair for all these years.
I didn't even
It's
notice
like
he had
seeing,
hair. It's like when you try
Bruce
to...
Willis.
Yeah, no, you notice when Bruce
Or
Willis has hair. It's
Vin
very
Diesel.
obvious. You notice when Vin Diesel... You notice when The Rock has hair, too.
But the de-aging was, I thought it was like really
To be honest, I
flawless.
didn't even notice.
Yeah, that's how good it was.
Yeah.
And the de-aging for Coulson, he looked like he had a lot of makeup on though.
He wasn't expecting very many close-ups.
Yeah. So I liked towards the end of the movie when he was typing on his computer and it said like, was it the Protector
It was
Initiative?
the Protector yeah.
Phase 1. And then he saw the picture and it said Carol Avenger Danvers, and he changed it.
To
And
the
they
Avengers
played the
Initiative.
epic theme song for the
Yeah.
Avengers. That was a pretty interesting. It also makes me think they consider Captain America to be the first Avenger, though, because the title is literally the first Avenger.
Well, maybe he was the first one to join the Avengers group, but the Avengers group was formed after meeting
Yeah.
Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like the first and he's the leader, but it's not based on him. It was
Yeah.
it already existed before him, and it exists. She's the one who kind of took part in creating it.
That's a good point. You okay?
No.
You gonna die? And so now we get to the end credits, and people who get up and leave, like,
What are you doing with your
this
life?
is the 21st movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Have you never seen a Marvel movie before?
even ones on opening night, people are still leaving. I mean, Saturday we saw it. Maybe people saw it a couple times.
Yeah, maybe it was their second. But I would still stay and watch it even
Yeah.
if it had been multiple times.
I still stay for the credits,
Yeah.
but it's after Infinity War. Maybe it's a scene from Endgame, and it had I think
It had Bruce Banner, Black
Scar-
Widow,
Captain America,
Captain
and
America,
War Machine,
and War Machine. Yeah.
and so they were all huddled around the pager that Nick Fury had signaled for Captain Marvel at the end, and like we
At
need
the end
to
of
get
Infinity
it,
War.
we need to get it working, and then let me know who's on the other end, and turn around and Captain Marvel standing there, and her hair's a little messy.
It was straight. It wasn't curly like in this
Yeah.
one. I mean, it's been years, so.
And she's like, "Where's Fury?" And
Yeah.
so that also tells me that she hasn't visited Earth maybe in 20 years.
It goes to show how powerful he thought she was, because, I mean, all of these other movies, all these horrible things that have happened on Earth, and he's never
Yes.
contacted her, and this was the one event that made him contact her.
I was thinking about that during we saw it. I was thinking, the first Avengers with Loki in New
There was
York.
like aliens flying around, and he still was like,
Pretty
not
much
bad enough.
every single movie that
Yeah.
Nick Fury
When they
has been
destroyed Sokovia, and he still didn't call her.
in, even Civil War, anything that
Civil War.
Civil War. But it does show you how important.
How high he holds her in terms of power.
Yeah. And so she shows up, where's Fury? And like I said, that just tells me that she maybe hasn't even been on Earth for 20 years. Because she went to help
It's
the
been more than
Skrull.
20 if she came in the 90s. It's been like
Yeah.
almost 40, 30, 20, 30.
If the
I'm
movie's like
sticking
in the
with 30.
mid-90s.
I'm sticking with 30.
Movies in the mid-90s.
You don't know when in the mid 90s.
Even if it was in 90, I'm not even 30.
You're almost 30.
It's still...
Mid 20s,
Whatever.
late 20s.
So, what has she been doing this whole time? And so maybe if we get a sequel, we can see kind of some of that in between.
Yeah.
So, but I think it was a pretty interesting one, and we talked about maybe that's the first scene in Endgame.
It would
And
be
I
a
would
good
like
first
to
scene.
see her in like the whole movie, not just kind of bits and pieces, kind of how Vision was in Age of Ultron, where we hyped up Vision and then he was barely in it.
Yeah.
So I like to see her a lot in it. I think, who do you think she would interact with the most?
Well, I mean, if that scene was her first contact, she was with Black Widow and Captain
Yeah.
America. I mean, we've seen the trailer for Endgame with Iron Man floating on that ship, so I'm gonna assume
She's gonna probably save him.
probably because she can fly in space and she
Yeah.
doesn't need a spaceship or anything. She'll probably save him. I'm assuming that she'll probably interact mostly with them, or maybe even Crazy Hands guy.
Edward Scissorhands.
What's the one?
Crazy hand guy.
The one, the Doctor Strange, or maybe even Doctor Strange. I don't know. They seem like they could be pretty. They could be like the strongest of the bunch, you know.
And who would you like to see defeat Thanos in the end? I feel like it could be a whole team effort.
I mean,
it'd be cool if she did.
It would be cool. It would be like a pretty epic showdown if she just walked up and like, I don't know,
Just like
took care of the problem. And I know people would have a problem with that, but check yourselves, because in Age of Ultron, they spent the whole movie fighting Ultron, and at the end, Vision kills him with like a flick. So it would not be the first time that Marvel has done that. So hop off your high horses.
But whatever happens, I'm really looking forward to Endgame. I can't believe it's just like 6 weeks away. It's coming up very soon.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go see that one too.
Yeah. Will you join us on the channel again?
We'll see. As long as people are nice to me, because I'm very sensitive.
They will be nice because you're funny and you're very pretty.
What do you want?
So comment down below with your thoughts on Captain Marvel, and you can have spoiler comments down below because this is a spoiler video, and if you guys haven't seen it,
that's your own fault.
If you watch this whole video, now
we made it clear.
You don't have to go see the movie.
Yeah.
So comment down below. So comment down below with your thoughts on the film setup on Captain Marvel, and are you looking forward to her role in Endgame? It's gonna be pretty epic. She's gonna come in and just destroy everything. I feel like she's not gonna put up with anybody's crap though.
She seems like she has pretty low patience.
Yeah, you saw that a lot. In the movie. So I mean, can't remember if Peter Quill got snapped and turned to dust. Star-Lord.
I know, I don't remember.
Let's just
It was
assume
Spider-Man. It was everyone else. If it wasn't Peter Quill, then it was everyone else in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, well, if he didn't, and even if he was in the movie, he would probably annoy her.
I think everyone would annoy her, honestly.
Captain America would just
be annoying.
No, he would just talk to her like a normal person because that's what he does.
He does.
He sees the best in everybody.
Doesn't make sense, but okay.
He believes in everybody.
I believe that he sucks.
He believes in Bucky.
He believes in terrorism.
So thank you guys for checking out our spoiler review on Captain Marvel. You can check out my non-spoiler review, but that's pretty boring now after watching this one. You can check it out right over here, as well as my ranking of all 21 Marvel films from worst to best. My name is JustinWatchesMovies, and this is
Tara Watches Movies.
As well. Maybe you can start your own channel.
Pass.
No.
Hard pass.
No? Alright. You guys stay classy, YouTube. Goodbye.
Goodbye.